Hey everybody, Chris Fafalius here. If you enjoy One Hit Thunder, which I'm assuming you do considering you're listening to it right now, I want to tell you about another great music podcast on the Evergreen Podcast Network. It's called Riffs on Riffs. On this season of Riffs on Riffs, hosts Toby Braswell and Joe Watson are breaking down one iconic pop song each week. Everything from Taylor Swift's Cruel Summer to Journey's Don't Stop Believin' to Naughty by Nature's OPP. Each week, they crack open the song, trace its history, decode those cryptic lyrics, and unearth the hidden gems in its musical DNA. Not only do they dive into the song's history, lyrics, and impact, they also go down some fun and oftentimes hilarious rabbit holes. So yeah, if you're a fan of One Hit Thunder, I think you'll also enjoy Riffs on Riffs. So go hit that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your pods.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
During an era dominated by TRL and boy bands, SoulDecision's Faded resonated with its infectious melody, showcasing the band's unique fusion of musicianship and pop sensibilities, a formula that worked wonders only a few years later for Maroon 5. Setting themselves apart from the manufactured acts of the time, the band not only wrote their own songs, but also skillfully played their own instruments. Yet, despite this authenticity, their moment in the limelight proved fleeting. This week, SayQuoi owner Jenae Thompson joins us to unravel the mysteries behind SoulDecision's brief fame, questioning whether mismanagement alone dictated their demise. Their narrative serves as a sobering reminder of the delicate balance between artistic integrity and the unpredictable currents of the music industry. In stark contrast to the lyrics of Faded, SoulDecision's journey reminds us that making what seems like the right move in the moment might not always be best.
You got it, and you know I want it. I can't wait to take you home. You know you got it tonight. One hit is all you need to make the money guaranteed, and you can live off royalties forever.
And it makes me wonder, is it just a wonder, or is it one hit thunder? So Jenae, welcome to the show. We are here today to talk about the band that walked so that Maroon 5 could run. Yes, I'm talking about SoulDecision, and I know you're a big fan. So you could let us know your history with SoulDecision.
Well, I believe the year was 98 or so.
Maybe a little bit later.
Stroll down memory lane, shall we? I was obsessed with those compilation CDs. Did I have every single, now that's what I call music? Yes. Did nice. I dabble in the Totally Hits? Yes.
Nice.
And on one of those Totally Hits CDs, there was a song that would transcend all music. And that was Faded by SoulDecision.
Wow. I love it.
I got stuck on the track. Of all the songs on that one compilation, that one grabbed me. And I was just like, I listened to it over and over and over and drove my family crazy.
Love
and that
it.
was it for me.
I love that. I got to tell you, I came to this song way later. I mean, it had to be 10 years ago or so. So we're way past. we're over a decade past. And someone put this song on. We were hanging out. Someone put it on the Bluetooth speaker. They're like, you don't know this song? I'm like, no, I've never heard this before. But I got to tell you, I started liking it. I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty undeniable. And
I can one up that, Chris.
Okay.
I hadn't heard this song until Jenae picked it for the podcast.
Whoa.
No way.
But similar to Chris, I really liked the song Faded. I was like, this song rules.
Yeah.
It's so
Like,
catchy.
It unironically is so catchy.
Right out the gate, if we're going to talk about the lyrics, the opening lyric is different depending on which version you're listening to.
Oh.
There's the edited version of the lyric, which is when I get you all alone, I'm going to move in nice and close. But the album lyric is when I get you alone, I'm going to take off all your clothes.
Whoa!
I know the take off all your clothes one.
Oh, which one do I probably know whatever the single version is. So
That's
I probably
the nice and close. The music video is nice and close.
Damn, I never got the album.
The edited Kiss FM like pop radio version.
That's the version I know. But okay, so this band, obviously, we'll get into it, but whoever was managing this band did such a terrible job of assuring that this band would have a long career. They tried to capitalize on the boy band explosion of the time, but the difference is that this was an actual band.
This was
played
more
instruments, yes, and
this
wrote
was
their
more
songs.
of a Hanson. This was more of a Hanson boy band than a Backstreet Boys boy band. It's almost the exact same lineup of instrumentation as Hanson. It has the same kind of funky, like soul and R&B influence that like later Hanson records would have. I feel like SoulDecision is very similar to Hanson, except for the problematic Pinterest pages.
and they're not all siblings.
Yeah.
That too. But a little background on our Canadian friends in SoulDecision. They were formed in Vancouver in 1993, originally under the name Indecision, which is funny because if you'll notice when I believe the rapper's name is, Thrust. Thrust is the rapper on this song.
I'm glad you're bringing this up because I was going to bring this up too.
He shouts out indecision in his rap. They didn't change that when the band's name changed. He like calls them Indecision, I believe, right?
Yeah, he says, I'm not like the rest, indecision with the best.
Yeah. So he's still citing them as Indecision. But basically, the band was singer and multi-instrumentalist Trevor Guthrie, who seems to be the real brains behind this whole operation. Singer David Bowman and keyboardist Ken Luco, who were all studying music together at Capilano College, which I clicked into Capilano College to learn a little bit. It's basically a college that's teaching focused. It's a public university. It's not, I wondered if it was like a music school or something. It's not. So in Canada, before they even had their major label deal, they had a couple of singles that received national top 40 radio airplay as Indecision. They signed to Universal, and at this point, they had to change their name due to a name conflict with an American band. I think I could be wrong about this, but I think there's a hardcore band called Indecision. I wonder if...
I think that's who it is that they had to deal with.
Right.
My favorite line in the entire Wikipedia is the sentence that says, they reluctantly changed their name to SoulDecision. They were not happy with this decision at all.
Well, this manager, Gary Francis, chose the name SoulDecision. This guy, a lot of questionable decisions by Gary Francis along the way. SoulDecision, all one word, all lowercase, except for the D. I don't know why he made that choice, but they went along with it. They trusted their manager, Gary.
It's like almost like they were choosing a password or something.
Yeah, right.
Their name was SoulDecision 156 exclamation point.
Sorry. We need at least one capitalized letter in this. But like we said, they got lumped right into the boy band thing, even though they wrote their own songs, played their own instruments. Their debut album, No One Does It Better, for some reason, they went all the way to Sydney, Australia to record this album. Don't know why, but...
Chris, you're a musician. You know how Sydney has the best recording studios in the world.
I guess they have special mics there or something, but I guess it worked because on February 22nd of 2000, they released this album in Canada, and Faded became a hit in Canada, reaching #1 on the country's singles chart. These guys were huge in Canada. And then it took a little while for them to reach only number 22 in the United States. We are talking about this and we were talking about Soul Decision today, and this actually, by One Hit Thunder standards, kind of falls on that line. We usually say it has to be top 20, but this song's so good that we're giving it a pass this week.
We're bending some rules here, but it peaked at number 22 on September 9th, 2000, and it was sandwiched between Jagged Edge, Let's Get Married at 21, and Britney Spears' Lucky at 23. And the top 5 that year, or that particular week, we had at number 5, Matchbox 20, Bent.
Yes.
Number 4, Cisco, Incomplete. Not the thong song.
Wow.
Number 3, here's where we got, I would say this is my favorite of the 5 songs. Destiny's Child's Jumpin' Jumpin'. Club classic. Number 2, Madonna, Music. And Chris, your girl's at number 1.
My girl.
Janet Jackson.
Oh.
With Doesn't Really Matter was the number 1 song in America at that time.
Oh, such a good Janet song. That's a pretty good. I mean, I was like kind of iffy on it until I saw Janet at the top.
This is not one of the. You'll notice that unlike a couple of past episodes, I didn't start with. And boy, let me tell you how stacked that top 5 was.
It's okay. Although,
it was a very 2000s top 5 for me.
I'm here for it. Honestly, you take me back. You just Marty McFly me. I feel really amazing right now. I'm going to go listen to all of those songs as soon as we get off.
So they have a second single, though, Chris. I want to address this early on. Mm-hmm. There are people, my girlfriend included, who when I said, oh, we're doing Fade It by Soul Decision, swore that they had a second big hit. And they're only half correct. They released the single called Ooh, It's Kinda Crazy, which did make it all the way to number 1 on TRL.
Okay.
However, when you look at its chart performance, it peaked at 111 on the Billboard charts.
Oh.
So just another example of how TRL did not necessarily translate to sales a lot of the time. And Chris, I asked you to rewatch this video. Jenae, did you happen to see the video for Ooh, It's Kinda Crazy?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I dove into this because it was named by Billboard as one of the 10 greatest boy band videos of the TRL era.
Okay.
And the reasoning why is if you watch this video, first of all, Chris, you watched it after I told you to check it out, right?
I have thoughts on it.
First of all, you can barely hear the song the entire video. So the concept of the video is they're doing the Beatles thing where it's like they are so huge they can't do anything in their day-to-day life because swarms of fans bother them.
All girls. All girls, by the way.
Whoever made this video mixed the cheering so loud that it covers up the entire track.
Yes.
You can barely hear the song over screams.
The whole video is just Foley work. Just the whole time it's audio, it's people cheering, it's sound effects when they're jumping from a car to another car. It is just, the song is just bed music for the whole time. And it's very strange.
That's why I'm like, I don't count this as a hit. People voted for this because they like the video. There's no way they were voting for this because they like the song, because I can't tell you what the song is.
And there's no way it was better than freaking Faded.
Oh,
there's
it's
no
not
way.
even close. When I actively tried to listen for the song, I was like, this is no Faded. There's no hook to this.
Back up. It's still pretty good.
It's not a bad song. You know what? Actually, with that song, I know you mentioned Maroon 5. I feel like Ooh, It's Kinda Crazy musically feels like a Wham song. Like they were trying to be like Wham.
Sure.
What?
Yeah. You got to check that one out, Jenae.
No, you got to see this video.
Trevor,
I assume it's Trevor in the video, is, I guess, working on the next big Soul Decision hit, and he's sitting on a park bench with his headphones on, and he's so focused on the music that he doesn't realize that a group of teenage fans have picked up the park bench and put it on the back of a truck to kidnap him.
Right. The TRL thing is, I always think about the TRL thing because, maybe it's a little bit early, but I think TRL was still pretty popular 03, 04. I don't think it had its downfall until a few years later. But I always think about, this is a perfect example. If you had a band and you were popular enough that you could, if you had a couple thousand fans and you could send out a mailing list and rally them and be like, this one day, go vote for us on TRL. It could happen. I always regret not having a music video ready to go and rallying the people that liked my band to like, go vote for us on this thing, because that's all it takes, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
so talking about TRL, I have not a game really, but the song peaked at number 1 for one day. It was only
TRL.
one day that it was the number 1 song on TRL. The same week that it was the number 1 song on TRL, it was also the 27th most played video that week on MTV. So they're really pushing this song for that one week. But I found that in retrospect, the song is regarded as one of the most unlikely TRL chart toppers of all time. And I found an article from Uprocks that called the song an oddity and included it on their list of 11 music videos that you will not believe topped TRL for back in the day. So I just want to ask, I have the list here. We can't turn this into a game, but I'm going to give you each like 2 chances to guess on like a song that you remember being number 1 on TRL that didn't fit the normal TRL brand.
Okay.
I'll tell you that there are 2 American Idol contestants on this list of 10.
oh, okay.
That's good to know. That's really good to know.
Looking
Contestants or winners?
I don't know if one of them won or just had a good career after not winning.
Okay, I think I know who it is.
Okay.
Is it Invisible, Clay Aiken?
No, because that I would have known. Invisible by Clay Aiken rules. But Sorry 2004 by Ruben Studdard reached number 1.
I was going to guess Ruben Studdard. He won, right?
He beat Clay Aiken.
Yeah.
The other, I'm pretty sure this is an American Idol person, Daughtry Home.
Daughtry. I'm coming home.
Yeah.
Hey, Jenae, I gotta tell Jenae about this. There are pictures online of Chris Daughtry. Do you know Chris Daughtry? You know what he looks like? There are pictures where he looks exactly like me, and my friends will send them to me, and it's just funny because it's just something about like the shape of his face and the shape of his head and stuff.
Face shape. I almost want to tell you to take off your hat.
Yeah, I'm bald. Yeah, we're both shaved heads. There are pictures. But there are pictures where it's like funny, where I actually start cracking up. I send my mom and she's like, oh my God. And so Daughtry played recently. I should have went. Everyone's trying to get me to go stand outside because he played in Greensburg not that long ago. I should have went and like hung out, signed some autographs. Although he's way more jacked than me.
If you just sign it as Chris, it's still not a lie.
Right. That's not... Just Chris. Hey, that's not surprising to me. That was a huge song, though. That's not surprising to me.
No.
Matt, I was going to guess, one of my guesses was Reliant K one of them?
No, but you're in the similar field because Newfound Glory, All Downhill From Here one point was the number 1 song on TRL. I'm going to do the rest of these real quick. So they had Lady Sovereign, Love Me or Hate Me was one of their unlikely chart toppers. Are you familiar with Lady Sovereign, Chris?
I am not.
She's a British rapper.
Oh.
So it's like, love me or hate me, I'm still an obsession. Love me or hate me, that is the question. Yeah, it's a good-ass jam. Lindsay Lohan's Confessions of a Broken Heart was on the list.
Oh, Lindsay.
98 Degrees, I Do Cherish You was on the list.
Why is that surprising? They were
I think
huge.
for them, it was just like, I don't know why a song about getting married would be the number 1 song on TRL. Okay. Nick Carter, Help Me was the only, according to this article, was the only solo boy band track to ever top TRL.
Okay.
I don't know if that's because TRL wasn't doing stuff when Justin Timberlake went solo anymore. Dream, This Is Me.
Yes.
And then the last 2, they had Cisco the Thong Song, and that one was an unlikely chart topper because it only did it for one day. It only had one day as the number 1 song on TRL, and then the best one, Tom Green, the Bum Bum song.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh my
Which
God.
I'm not sure if you know this story. Tom Green has talked about this story. And it's a heartbreaking story for those of you who love TRL. But sometimes Carson Daly would need some days off from Total Request Live. And what they would do is look at what the charts had been doing that week and just kind of try to guess what the rankings would be for that day. So like your votes didn't matter at all. So he needed to have off on like a Friday, and they filmed that Friday's episode in advance. And then the next day, after Tom Green's show debuted the Bum Bum song, it had skyrocketed to #1, and they had to have Tom Green come in on Thursday and officially retire the song from being eligible on the show so that it wouldn't give away that Friday's episode was pre-recorded.
What? I guess I'd heard stuff about this before that they didn't like that it was #1 or something. But
that was why, because it had screwed up their pre-recorded stuff, because it was like this song that they didn't plan on pushing was the #1 song for like 3 days in a row, and they're like, we weren't prepared for this, and Carson can't refilm that whole episode, so you have to come in on Thursday and retire the song.
Okay. Weird.
Very weird.
Sucks.
That being said, what's not weird is the song Faded, which is fucking a banger of a perfect pick. Perfect. Chris, is this possibly one of the best first picks in One Hit Thunder history, just out the gate? I feel like Jenae really is like hitting a home run.
You brought you brought a good one here, Jenae.
That's so satisfying.
The song. Also, I mentioned him earlier, but it features Thrust, the rapper Thrust, which for some reason is the funniest rapper name to me. Thrust.
I need to bring that back up. Like double dutching. We're gonna talk about Thrust. I need to bring Thrust back in.
We got to talk about Thrust a little bit more. He's a Canadian rapper from Toronto. He is most known for his appearance on the Rascals. That's Rascals with a Z. 1998 single Northern Touch, which I sent to Matt last night.
It's a good ass jam.
I was like, this is pretty good, right? This seems like, I knew it was right up your alley, Matt.
Oh, I loved it. And the top comment is, did anyone come here because of Seth Rogen's podcast?
What?
So I'm guessing that Seth Rogen has been shouting out the Rascals on a podcast or
he's
something.
Canadian, right?
Yeah. No, it makes sense that he would have grown up with the Rascals.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good, pretty good. So then SoulDecision is thrown into this boy band, girl pop star world. He toured in July of 2000 with my hometown girl, Christina Aguilera, and then did a headlining Canadian tour in 2001. I found a crazy little fact that I'm sure neither of you knew, because I had to dig deep for this one. Between the two SoulDecision albums, and at some point, like when he's touring, because then he also toured along with Destiny's Child as support for Christina Aguilera's Genie in a Bottle tour throughout North America. And then they were a support act for NSYNC on the Eastern North American dates of leg 2 of the No Strings Attached tour in 2000. They're on enormous tours at this time.
Probably the biggest tours you could be on in that time period.
You knew that.
Did you see them live? Did you go to that show and see them?
No, but I was obsessed. I was one of those NSYNC like there was no white to be seen on my walls. Obsessed with NSYNC. So
wow.
Chris, you're going to be really excited about this, but I need to bring it back to Thrust for one more second.
Okay, yeah. I mainly want to talk about Thrust.
I feel like there might be Canadian listeners that are screaming at their phones right now.
Yeah.
I just clicked into the Wikipedia page for the song Northern Touch.
Okay.
And this is what it says. Northern Touch is one of the most important individual songs in the history of Canadian hip-hop. It almost single-handedly transformed the genre from a largely ignored underground movement into a viable commercial endeavor for all rappers to come after that.
Okay.
So, like, Thrust was literally part of, I guess, getting a lot of Canadian rappers signed in the 2000s and beyond.
He's good. He's definitely
He's real good.
He's got a cool voice and he's got a good delivery. I like him on that Rascals song. And I didn't get to tell you my crazy fact, though, between the two Soul Decision albums, where I had to really dig for this. But at one point, Trevor wrote songs, Trevor from Soul Decision, with Ryan Gosling.
Oh. Was he part of Dead Man's Bones?
I don't think so. I think they just got together and like wrote songs together.
Because I know Ryan Gosling has always had a little bit of a wants to do music vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. So just a little something that you should know, that Trevor and Ryan Gosling are boys and they still keep in touch.
That's awesome.
I had to watch.
That was great.
I had to watch a whole Trevor interview to find that out. So they do all these huge tours. I would think that people would love the band. I mean, the song, we are saying that, yeah, this band got lumped into the boy band thing. But honestly, these songs, they do sound like, it's cool they wrote them and played the instruments. They do sound like they fit in that world. It's not like that much of a departure. I would think and on top of that, let's not beat around the bush here. Trevor is a hot guy still. He's 51 years old now. He's still a hot guy. So
yeah, you sent me one of the new Trevor solo tracks, and beyond the fact that he still looks great, that song wasn't bad either. Like the dude can write a song. He can write a pop song.
Yeah, but the band left Universal, so I guess that things started to tail off after these big tours and after these couple singles, and they released their second album, Shady Satin Drug, in 2004. So that's kind of a big gap between.
Yeah.
You would think they'd want to really.
Yeah, that's 4 or 5 years between albums. That's a long time for a pop act.
Yeah.
And also they left Universal. I don't know if they got dropped or I don't know what happened there. And they released it on a label called Sextant. And then after the album came out, Shady Satin Drug, Sextant filed for bankruptcy. So that did not help things.
Yeah. I think that kind of spelled the end of Soul Decision when that happened. And because you also see that Trevor's solo career starts not too long after that album comes out. Like, I don't even think they toured for Satin Drug.
Well, you know what? Okay, here's what I saw is that, so their single from that album, Kiss the Walls, I went and checked it out. There's a music video for it. It's a little more rock than straight boy band pop. Like the choruses have like some distorted guitars and stuff. So I think they were trying to make that transition to like, yo, we're a band a little bit. It still was pretty poppy. And it was actually like kind of cheesy, a little cheesier than I would have thought for how much I like those other two singles.
Yeah.
They said, well, I watched an interview with Trevor saying this, that they got to a point where they were exhausted and no money was coming in. And then he said the fight was over at that point. What he said was they would go to clubs, they would be on tour and they would play a show and the show wouldn't be that well attended or whatever. And the promoter would be like, yo, I didn't know you guys were like a good band. And they would be like, yeah, they didn't even know they were a band. They probably thought they were just some singers going in there to sing the tracks or whatever. Yeah. But he was like, by the time the promoters realized that they should have pushed our shows more and stuff, it was over at that point. They definitely, I listened to a lot of their songs. I wanted to know, like, do I like this band or not? They have some absolute jams, and then they have some songs that are really pure fluff trash. And if you want to hear one of these like fluff trash songs by Soul Decision, check out the song Gravity. It is very bad. So, they can't all be hits, I guess. But yeah, they fell victim to a marketing plan that did not benefit them, and they were misplaced in the world of boy bands and adolescent fandom. So
okay.
I wonder what those conversations were like when they were getting started and getting signed, because I have a feeling like they wanted, like exactly what you said. They didn't have pop hearts.
No.
They really wanted to, not that pop isn't real music, of course, I'm a pop head, but like, it's very apparent that that's not, they wanted to get their foot in the door by doing what the man told them to do. Yeah. And then be able to show a little bit more of their, I guess, deeper artistry. And it just, the timing. I wonder if they had come out a little bit later.
Or if they'd have stuck with it, maybe if they would have stuck with it, they could have rode the Maroon 5 wave.
Yeah.
Put out something that was a little more adult and not targeted purely towards teens, I guess.
Yeah.
May have benefited them. Faded is a serious jam. Like, anyone can enjoy that song.
Well, let me propose this, though, because we already talked. One of the first things we talked about was the fact that they had to change the lyric from "Take off all your clothes" to "Move in nice and close." So I wonder if they were trying to write adult jams, and with everything happening with this manager telling them to change their name to SoulDecision and this, that, and the other thing, that they were kind of retrofitted into the like teen pop thing, and that the rest of their career was trying to get out of that hole.
I think they optimized an opportunity when an opportunity knocked and hoped that it would, like I said, be a foot in the door so they could display their artistry and their gifts in other ways later down the line. It just never came to fruition because we were in the TRL age, and then here comes Adam Levine.
Yeah. And also, just throwing this out there, back to the Ooh, It's Kind of Crazy video. There's nothing more embarrassing than a video about how big and famous you are when you end up not being that big and famous.
Well, yeah.
Stings a bit.
I mean, put any of us three in that situation where you have this manager telling you do this, you get signed to a label, you're going on tour with NSYNC, Christina Aguilera, your videos on TRL. Put any of us in that situation in the year 2000. And
yeah, you take it.
And we're going to go for the ride.
Yeah.
Although I do have to say something. In the year 2000, I was 20, Matt was younger. I mean, regardless of what age you were, I do have to say this. You guys might not realize this. Trevor was 27.
Oh.
I think maybe he could have known a little better. Now, 27 still could be kind of an idiot.
Here's the reverse, though. If you look on the Wikipedia page for SoulDecision, it says that their years active were 1993.
Yeah.
So it may not have been anything more than, I've been doing this for 7 years, and there's finally an opportunity.
Exactly.
And who am I to say no after 7 years of doing this grind for something like this to show up? Like, I think for him, he looked at it as like, I either take this deal or I accept that I'm just always going to be in like the most talented local bar band. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I got it. Here's who I'm going to call out. SoulDecision, I think you're a great band. Trevor, great singer. Gary Francis, manager Gary Francis, you are the worst. You had this.
When I see you, Gary.
You had Maroon 5. You basically had Maroon 5 here. You had a hot lead singer. You had guys who wrote great songs and played their own instruments. You had it all right here, and you let it slip away. Gary Francis, you dropped the ball. You didn't know. I mean, maybe he even gave the band the wrong name. Maybe it wasn't the right name. I don't know. That's bad.
Capitalized the D.
Yeah. Maybe it should have all stayed lowercase. That may have been the mistake.
That was the big decision.
Hey, one-hit thunderers, thunderheads, thunder buns. All right, I'll just go with one-hit thunder listeners. This is Krista Makes, guitarist and vocalist for Less Than Jake, and host of Krista Makes a Podcast, a songwriting podcast where every week I'm joined by an amazing guest to break down the writing, recording, and release of one iconic song that they have written. In our giant evergreen back catalog of episodes, we've had rock legends such as Dee Snider and Huey Lewis, punk rock favorites such as Mark Hoppus, Fat Mike, and Brett Gurewitz, up-and-coming artists of today such as Liz Stokes of the Beths and Genesis Owusu, and even some of the artists that have been featured on One Hit Thunder. The show is even produced by One Hit Thunder host Chris Fafalius. What more could you possibly ask for? Krista Makes a Podcast is available for free on all the places you listen to podcasts, and new episodes come out every Monday. I guarantee you'll like it, or we'll give you your money back.
I learned a little more about Trevor, if you guys would like to know, since since the breaking up of the band. For some reason, Trevor, after the band broke up, got really into meeting World War II veterans and traveling for the 60th anniversary of D-Day. He also started writing songs that didn't pertain to pop culture anymore. He made a comeback in the year 2013 with a song called This Is What It Feels Like with Armin van Buuren. Now, you can go check this song out. It's pretty good. It has 133 million YouTube plays. So Trevor stepped into the EDM world, and then, he's released a bunch of other EDM songs, a lot of times like teaming up with another artist. He released a couple songs I really like, both of them with summer in the title. There's a song called Summertime, and then he has a song with an artist called Hardwell called Summer Air. They're both like EDM. They both have that thing where, like, the beat builds up. They both have that thing. But yeah, we're rocking out over here. But those kind of songs, but they're pretty good. That's not like necessarily my favorite style of music, but they're pretty good for what they are. So he's still making music. I saw an interview with him from a few years back. He still looks great. He's still like a really good looking guy. And so, yes, that's where Trevor has gone. The other guys, I couldn't find anything about the other guys. Hopefully they're living good lives. This song, Faded, I'm talking about. The Billboard year-end Hot 100, it was the 66th biggest song of 2000, according to that, which leads me to a little game I have for you two. If you'd like to play a game. So you're not, I have 6 questions here. This is all based on the year-end Hot 100 for the year 2000.
Ooh,
okay. I'm feeling pretty good about this.
Jenae, I saw you fist pumping for a lot of those songs that Matt was naming earlier, so I think this might be a specialty area for you. So how are you going to buzz in? I don't know.
One of us says soul and the other one says decision.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Matt, you're soul. Jenae, if you want to ring in with the answer, you got to say decision. If you know the answer, buzz in. Maybe neither of you know the answers. There's 6 questions. So here we go. These are all songs that were in the top 100 of the year 2000. This song was the number 14 song of the year 2000. It was featured on a past episode of One Hit Thunder. The writers of the song had to give credit to songwriters Desmond Child and Draco Rosa for interpol. Okay, go ahead.
Was this Cisco the Thong Song?
Oh, you got it. Wow.
For Livin' La Vida Loca, right?
Yeah, Livin' La Vida Loca. Cisco at some point says, Livin' La Vida Loca.
Don't take a truck. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, Jenae.
I mean, there's an advantage here of previous episode mentioning.
That's true.
I also weirdly...
Yeah, that's true.
I would say 9 times out of 10, everything we learn on One Hit Thunder dumps out of my brain. Dumps like a truck, one would even say. But for some reason, that factoid I just was telling somebody about like a week ago, where I was like, did you know Cisco had to give writing credit to the guys who wrote Livin' La Vida Loca just for him singing Livin' La Vida Loca in the thong song?
Yeah, that is a real stretch of that too. It's only one line, Livin' La Vida Loca.
Is it a stretch?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he does sing it to the exact melody.
Exactly, he follows the melody.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Man,
huge song for them. I would want to get my coin too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so Matt's up 1-0. This song was number 26 for the year 2000. This artist with a distinctive voice was featured on a past episode of One Hit Thunder, and the song won the 2001 Grammy for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. Go ahead.
Is it I Try, Macy Gray?
You got it! Boom!
That is it! I didn't want to be the person who buzzed in before the question was over again.
Nice job, Jenae. You got it. What was it, the distinctive voice?
Yeah, absolutely. And the chart toppage.
Yeah, true.
Macy.
True. Yeah, Macy.
I wish... Anyway, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
About Macy.
Yeah, I love Macy. Thinks she should have had a bigger career. She got a little iffy. She got a little iffy the last couple of years with some opinions, but you know,
she's always been her own person.
True. That's true. True.
That's the nicest way to explain what it was. Yeah.
All right, we're at 1-1.
Okay.
You two are doing good. All right. Oh, I feel like somebody's going to get this one. This song was number 29 for the year 2000. And the music video features the artist performing in front of several key landmarks across St. Louis, such as the Gateway Arch and Lafayette Square. Okay, go ahead.
Was it Nelly Country Grammar?
You got it.
Yes.
Oh, man. You guys are on fire. I was worried that neither of you were going to get these, but okay.
No, 2000s is you're hitting my exact. I was a freshman in college. There was nothing to do but watch music videos.
Okay, here we go. Matt's up 2-1. You got 3 to go. This song, which was number 40 for the year 2000, included Na Na Nas as an ode to one of the songwriter's favorite bands, the Ramones. Early demos of the song even listed it as Ramones-style song, and the original working title of the track was Baby Cake's Butter Muffin.
Shit. Okay.
Na Na Nas?
Na Na Nas, Ramones inspired. So I'm thinking it was a punk band. Can you read the question again while I'm thinking about this?
This song, which was number 40 for the year 2000, included Na Na Nas as an ode to one of the songwriter's favorite bands, the Ramones. Early demos of the song even listed it as Ramones-style song, and the original working title of the track was Baby Cake's Butter Muffin.
Baby Cake's Butter Muffin, Na 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 Na. I'm trying to think of what punk songs would have been out. I don't
know this one.
All right,
Soul.
Matt's saying Soul.
Was this Blink 182, All the Small Things?
It was. All right, Matt's up 3-1.
I was hung up on Green Day, and I'm like, wait, no, this was Blink. This was the Blink time.
Matt got you again.
We're in the same brain, Jenae.
Jenae got to hope for the tie now. She got to play for the tie. Okay. This song, which was number 51 for the year 2000, had a music video in which actress and comedian Kathy Griffin appears as an attending nurse in a psychiatric ward.
See it so clearly in my head too. Wait a minute.
I can't even see the video. I'm trying to think.
2000. It was the number 51 song of the year.
Also, remind me, where was Faded on the overall chart?
66. So
okay, so still bigger than Faded.
Yeah, all the songs all the songs I'm listing are bigger than Faded.
I might have to tap out on this one. I don't know.
Because I can see it in my head. I can see her and I can see it, but I don't remember what video that was.
I think we got to call time.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know it.
That was The Real Slim Shady by Eminem.
Oh, God damn it. Yes, she was. God damn it. She's just throwing the pills into random cups. I just assumed it was. So here's my problem. When you read that, my immediate thought was like, the video must stop for her to do some like routine or something. Like, you know how like that would be like a thing in videos where the song would just stop and there'd be like a short little 30-second sketch.
Well, speaking of that, we'll still do Matt won, whatever, big deal. But we'll let Jenae have a chance to get a little bit closer. We got one left. This song, which was number 55 for the year 2000, features a bridge with spoken dialogue, which references the hit 1997 film Titanic.
Oh, Soul.
All right, Matt, what is it?
It's Britney Spears' Oops, I Did It Again.
Yeah, you got it. Sorry. Sorry we brought you on the show so Matt could completely dominate you, Jenae.
That's fine. If we played clips of the song, we may have a better game.
Yeah,
that's true. Listen, all I'm going to say is for those diehard listeners out there, I would love to know what my win-loss tie record is on the show.
Okay. Well, we've reached that point in the show. Jenae, we'll let you start. SoulDecision. Did they bring the one-hit thunder, or was this a one-hit blunder?
I don't care what anybody says. They brought the thunder.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'm actually going to agree. Like I said, I didn't even really know this song until it was picked. I immediately loved it and added it to a playlist, and like you said, they've got a lot of bops. They have more. Usually when we do something like One Hit Thunder, our takeaway is like, this is the only real song that they had to use for promotional purposes anyway. But I don't think that's the case with SoulDecision. I think that it was just mismanagement at the end of the day.
I agree.
They had enough songs that were good enough that we shouldn't be talking about them on this podcast. If they were in the hands of the correct manager is what my takeaway is. So I would say Thunder for sure. People should check out the first SoulDecision album for sure. If you like Fade It, you'll find songs that you like on that album.
Let me see if I can make it a clean sweep and a certification here. So I like this song from the first time I heard it. I heard it a decade after the fact and still liked it. And it became part of my everyday playlist. When I look at their career, I do tend to think these guys were a little bit of quitters, as is sometimes a check in the negative column for a group. But at this point, it just seemed like things weren't going well for them. There was a big gap, and I don't know what sort of law stuff was involved. They left. It says they left Universal. I don't know what that means. And then it took 4 years. With these guys being songwriters and musicians, it probably shouldn't have taken them, especially with the momentum that they had, that long to make their next album. I'm assuming they had the funds, and this was a full-time endeavor for them. So that was a problem there. And I think that maybe by then, maybe life just caught up with them. Finances caught up with them. And yeah.
Can I make a devil's advocate argument?
Sure.
For both of those things, actually. I have a threefold devil's advocate for you. First of all, I wouldn't call them quitters for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, Trevor did just continue to do music solo. Now, the other 2 guys, who knows? But 2, we've joked about this before. Unlike most other bands, there really isn't like a place to keep going as a boy band that's not on a record label. Like,
okay,
there's not like open mic night for boy bands at like clubs.
SoulDecision wasn't going to sign to Epitaph or Vagrant or something like.
Yeah, exactly. There's not like a little league boy band option. And honestly, with what you're saying, and this is just speculation because we don't have evidence for it, I'm wondering if the album that they put out in 2005 was an album that they wrote years earlier that Universal was giving them pushback on, and that's why they left Universal.
Yeah.
Fair.
Because that could always, we know that we've heard stories about that with even bands that we're friends with. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure that was the case with Wheatus, that they wrote a whole album, brought it to the label, and the label said, we don't want to put this out. And they had to like work out getting out of that contract to just release the album themselves at that point.
Right.
Yeah. I think there's a strong possibility you're right about that. And so I can't really hold that against them. And also, like, if you got years and years, and by the time you can get back on the road and play, your momentum has almost come to a stop, and you got to start from scratch. And these guys at this point, they're in their 30s.
Yeah, one guy was just like, fuck it, I'm just going to hang out with my buddy Ryan for a little bit and write some new tunes.
Yeah. I'm just going to get right into World War II veterans. Which just sounds like something you do in your 30s.
That is absolutely, I was going to say, that's the most 30s decision I've ever heard in my life.
Thunder, I'm going Yeah. Thunder. I'm going Thunder. So that means it's a clean sweep of Thunders, certified Thunder for SayQuoi. They got to look for their certification in the mail. Jenae, you've been a really fun guest. I hope that you'll come back again. Will you come back again sometime?
Absolutely. I'm coming back for this title. I'm mad about this game.
It was slanted a little bit. It was
slightly. It's fine. No, it's okay. I'm coming back.
Well, you know what, Chris didn't know how much you could bring to the table, so now he's got to make it extra hard. He's like, all right, we're doing 2000s, but it's going to be like super fan 2000s. Well, before we leave, Jenae, do you want to tell us a little bit about SayQuoi?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. So SayQuoi is my baby. I've been in business for almost 5 years. I am a certified life coach, and I'm also a content marketing and creative direction coach. So I help businesses find their SayQuoi, which is their little something special, their secret sauce, that thing that's going to give them longevity and help them change the world their way, turning followers into customers and clients in the most holistic and authentic way possible. My clients make full transformation as entrepreneurs, as members of their community, and as people. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, let me know. Shoot me an email. I'm at Jenae-SayQuoi.com and say-Quoi.com. That's QUOI, SayQuoi.com. Can't wait to talk to you.
This has been One Hit Thunder. One Hit Thunder is hosted by Chris Fafalios of the band Punchline and produced by Matt Kelly of Geekscape.net. Underneath me, you're hearing A Sharp is A Flat off the Punchline album Action. Visit punchlinemusic.com for any upcoming news on the band. Our podcast is on Patreon now. Find us at patreon.com/OHT podcast for early access to episodes, bonus conversations, and a chance to vote on future songs for us to cover. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting app, and tune in next week for more One Hit Thunder.
There's no option now. This is how it's gotta be. The pressure's on from everyone. This little band has got to succeed. We'll take a hammer to the things that I have always owned. Nothing is beyond the people I have always known.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.
So you've reached the age of zero energy, zero sex drive, and zero weight loss, and you wake up every morning with aches and pains. You're not alone. There is help with Nava Health. Nava Health's technology-driven approach goes beyond symptoms to find the root cause. Nava medical experts will create a customized plan to help you feel your best at every age. Visit navacenter.com/POD to learn more, or call 855-680-6282 today. Don't put off feeling as good as you can. Call 855-680-6282. Results may vary.
Hello out there. Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.